happy what is it, Tuesday evening to all of you guys. If you were on here, please get those likes up. Get those likes up, tag anybody, share this with anybody if you think you find it interesting. I'm gonna try to keep this one rather short tonight. Had an interesting day. I usually don't go live this late. But I just had one of those days. Wait, you know what? I just realized I don't even have my microphone, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. I need to grab my microphone. I'm over here talking on the audio. Hey, what's going on? Y'all give me 1 second. That is so funny. I didn't even have my mic. Oh, you said it sounds fine? Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you for bearing with me. Anyways, I wanted to touch real quick on this Rihanna, ASAP, Rocky pregnancy topic. I'm gonna be just totally honest. First off, when I heard about the situation, I didn't really care. If I'm just being honest, I'm like, good for them. You know what I mean? She's living her life. She's doing her thing. I didn't really care. Like I had almost zero interest. But it was my husband. I was talking to him, and he was like, "Hey, we should test something. You should post about this because I bet you if you post about it, you're about to get hella likes. You're about to get a lot of comments, right?" So I was like, "Okay, so let's do it." So we went ahead, posted something on the community tab, and it was one of my most popular posts. There's like a few other that have gotten a lot of feedback, but this is one of the most popular posts. And I'm looking at this and I'm just like, really? Like, of all the different things going on there, of all the different things to be concerned about, to be worried about, to be talking about, one of the most popular posts was just a celebrity's having a baby? Like, really? And the funny thing about it, y'all, is that this is not surprising. If you know anything about social media, anything about digital, especially in the female space, especially among female content creators, some of the most popular channels, the most well-watched, the most followed channels are exclusively about celebrity gossip, exclusively about celebrity, what they're doing in their day-to-day life. And this situation right here was just a prime example of that. And to me, it is really showing me, and it is really giving me just a reminder of where many of us females, women, however you want to put it, where we are at mentally. So if you're on here, please get those likes up, tag anybody on this discussion who you think may find it interesting. Also, if you would like to show support to the show, you can find me on CASHAPP or VENMO, Chez, CHARDE. I also appreciate any super chats. But like I said, I wanted to touch upon this real quick because, like I said, I was looking at this and I really just did not care. Like, I mean, I'm happy for them, but I wasn't really wasting any time on it. I wasn't really thinking about it like that. But I started to see I just started to see so much different stuff. And as I mentioned within the post, you got a pretty vocal community out there where the only reason they're upset and the only reason they're complaining is because Rihanna chose a black man to have a baby with. That, I mean, to me, that's the primary reason. Because now we can argue and say, oh, it's no, because she married down. She's a billionaire. Like, there's not a lot of billionaires floating around there, and he's a millionaire. So, like, they're in the same class, essentially. So we can argue about that. You know what I mean? You can say, oh, well, he had colorist remarks. She had her own questionable remarks, right? And if we really want to go down there, like, we can find smoke for anybody, right? Like, I mean, if we think of Serena Williams, right? I mean, the husband that she married, he had, if you look at his business, there was stuff going on. They had white supremacist stuff going on in his Reddit, the platform that he was owner of, that evidently wasn't getting handled. Like if we really want to bring out skeletons in the closet of the people that celebrities choose or people get up with, like, we can. But at the end of the day, I'm like, who cares? People are going to choose whoever they want to choose. And unfortunately, in this situation, what we did see was, I think, people saying, oh, we can't believe that she basically chose this kind of person. for all kind of reasons. And like I said, there was a strong majority of it. They were just mad at the fact that she chose a black man to have a baby with. It just is what it is. Now, I personally believe you should marry before you carry. I do not believe in any capacity. I just don't support and don't believe that you should just be getting knocked up from a boyfriend. Personally, that is just my thought. But they're in a different class. They're in a whole different situation. So God forbid they break up. She got the money, he got the money, nobody's struggling. She's not gonna be a single mama over here worrying about food stamps. But like I said, the bigger picture, apart from all of that, you got people mad that she was somebody because he's black. You got some people mad that she picked somebody that didn't have enough money. You got people mad because, oh, he has this past, that past. Like I said, anybody that you choose, any couple, any situation you look at, you can find skeletons, you can find issues. The biggest thing to me that I took away from this whole scenario was the fact that, like, who cares? Literally, if I go on, you got trending news, BuzzFeed's talking about this, People Magazine's talking about this, what Rihanna's wearing. Like, you got bigger news channels and even smaller news channels just focusing on, her new baby bump. I think the one that posted today was what Rihanna was wearing and the new outfit that she was sporting going out to like a restaurant or something. And it's just like, who the flip cares? Okay, she's wearing a nice outfit and a baby bump. Why is this such a big deal? And here is my point. Among us women, I think there is this culture of just like celebrity worship that has just become so normalized that I think it is, quite frankly, I think it's juvenile. And I think it is a distraction. And I don't think it's helping anybody. Because like I said, why is there so much smoke for what a grown woman wants to do? She wants to sleep with a dude or be with a guy, have a baby with a guy that ain't her husband and somebody that's making less money than her. Okay, maybe that's what she wants to do. Maybe for her, she's happy with him. Who cares? I'm like, how about your life? How about things that are actually impacting women? You know, I saw this, I've seen a few content creators say the reason they're upset about her decision was because they felt like young girls are going to be looking up to her. Young girls are going to be looking up to her and saying, oh, wow, she did it. Wow, she had a baby with her boyfriend because they're in love. I can do it. And so there's this argument of just like, she should have been more responsible with her decisions because she's a role model. Women are looking up to her. And to me, that is partially the problem. Why in our culture are we just looking up to celebrities? Like they're gods, like they're perfect, like they are infallible. They can't do anything wrong. like that is a bad setup. And if situations like these kind of things that go viral over and over and over again, all the stuff that gets smoked, the things that get, retweeted and reposted and reshared and people get all in their feelings, it's about celebrity stuff. It's about the top, 5%, 1% of people in the US. And I'm like, who the flip cares? What does this have to do with your life? And I think some of us ladies, what happens is, for whatever we do, we get sucked into this stuff. We get sucked into this BS. It doesn't matter if she has a baby with him or not. If she wears her stomach out or it's hidden, or she decides to wear some stilettos, go into Starbucks, or some flats, how does that impact your day-to-day life? And here's the thing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, having fun, watching music or whatever, like knowing the news. But I'm like, at what point are we focusing so much on the celebrities and putting too much emphasis and putting too many responsibilities on them and not focusing on the reality of our own life? And I'm reminded every single day that because we live in this like celebrity worshiping culture, and because there is literally money to be made off of women, females going and like hyper focusing on the top 5%, there's always going to be something to complain about. There's always going to be a reason to complain about the decision that some celebrity made. There's always going to be some colorist remark. There's always going to be a colorist man or a colorist female or a mixed preference. Like, these conversations are endless. They're just going to continue because we're not focusing on real life. We're focusing on a fantasy. And to me, I'm just like, honestly, it just gets sickening sometimes. I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, what is going on? Am I like in a Twilight Zone? Do we not understanding that she is a grown woman and can do whatever she wants? And this is the stuff that goes viral. This is the stuff that gets likes and tweets and shares and virality. I'm just like, where is our mindset as women? Where is our mindset? What are we focusing on? So if you're on here, please get those likes up. Also, I want to give a special shout out. I think I just got a cash up in from Hakeem. I see Sydney Troll for thanks. We'll do this instead. Super chat. Much appreciated. Much appreciated, y'all. If you would like to show support to this show or just to the channel, you can find it on CASHAPP or VENMO, Chez, CHARDE. Yeah, and I appreciate y'all stopping by. But so I wanted to touch upon this, right? This idea of why. Let me see. 1 second. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to touch upon this whole idea of, just why women are upset really about Rihanna's choice. And at the end of the day, I think it's because we put these movie stars on a pedestal. We do. And if in somewhere in somebody's life, whether it's a young girl or maybe even an adult who looks up to Rihanna, they're just like, I wish I had her life. I want to have her life. I desire to have her life. I want to boss up, level up, whatever. We put these people on pedestals as if they can do no wrong, as if they're not human, as if they don't still have struggles and still have emotional needs and still have bad days and sad days and get sick, And I think for whatever reason, people, I'm sure everybody's going to have their opinion about celebrities. That just comes with the territory. But for whatever reason, people are looking at Rihanna as if she can do no wrong. And like I said, anybody who's put in that position will always do wrong, will always piss off somebody, will always make somebody mad. And I think the bigger focus should be women. I think women today, we need to be taught and encouraged to live out our own lives. We need to be taught and encouraged how to actually live out our own productive lives. Again, I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with necessarily watching a show, watching a soap opera, or having your fun celebrities or things that you like to follow from here or there. But I think at a certain point, it can get to be where it is excessive and it can get to be to where it's unhealthy. Because, for example, right, I'm thinking yesterday I had two lovely ladies who came on and talked about their weight loss journey and their struggles with food. I had one of them who she'd gotten to be up to 500 pounds. She was 500 pounds. She had food addiction, food struggles. She had, she was pre-diabetic. At a certain point, she couldn't exercise. You know what I mean? She had sleep apnea. She had all these health issues. And here's the thing. These two women represent a majority of women. Most women in America are overweight. Black women in particular, we lead that charge. It's interesting to me that instead of us talking about the things or focusing on the things that actually impact us on a day-to-day, like our health, like the fact that most Black women out there today aren't really healthy, don't have good health, don't have good eating habits, maybe aren't in environments where they know how to begin a healthy lifestyle. Like, these are real issues that actually impact Black women. And instead of dealing with real life, we'd rather focus and bicker on the decision of some random celebrity that we may never meet. We'd rather look at, what did she wear to her, I don't know, like I said, to her trip to Starbucks. Like, who cares? Like, who cares? Good for Rihanna, but how about your life? How about what you are doing? And that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, time and time again, when I think about some of the most popular channels in the female spaces, and some of the most viral videos that I'll see where females, women, however you want to put it, where they're hanging out, like I think we're just talking about nonsense. And I'm not saying this is everybody. I'm not saying this is every woman out there. But I think there's just a lot of stuff we're talking about that's just total BS. I'm like, this isn't impacting anybody. This is just like, it's like we're in elementary school. And you said Black folk are too celebrity. Yes. Because I'm like, meanwhile, what's going on with your life? How are you doing? Great that she has, she spent $1,000 on her surprise date with her husband. Great that, so-and-so sent her a car. Like, Great. How about what's going on in your life? What is happening with your life? And like I said, you made a good point there where, you know, in this culture, you want to call it Black culture among females. I mean, I think there's different levels to this. I think American culture obviously worships celebrities. But in the Black culture, we have that, and then especially among females, right? There's this like celebrity worship. And we're putting too much emphasis on them. We're putting too much responsibility on them. When, I mean, he even had that one treat. I know A$AP Rocky, he went, I guess he had something a few years ago, whatever, where like he was being like, man, I'm not trying to be a political activist. I'm just trying to rap about, you know what I mean? Like my situation, my life, that's it. Like I'm not trying to be deep into there, leading the community, leading the cause. And I think for whatever reason, sometimes we just think just because there's celebrities who just happen to have money, because celebrities get paid really well, they need to represent, they need to be the leaders, they need to be the standard for everybody in the community or just everybody, period. And I'm like, that's a bad idea. Because just because you have a talent, just because you have a gift, it doesn't necessarily make you a leader. Doesn't necessarily mean that, you know what I mean, you're living a life that is worth following or worth modeling. It doesn't mean that you have no issues. It doesn't mean that you have good morals. It just means that you have a gift. And I think sometimes people, they can get so caught up with the glitz and the glam and, oh, she's cute, he's cute, it looks cute. And be like, but that does not mean that you need to now look to them on how to model your life. That does not mean that they are the standard, they are the gold standard of how you should live your life. And to me, that's the biggest problem, because I think it's at the point now where celebrities are supposed to be setting the standard for how people are to live, how women are to live, setting the standard for relationships. You know, there's some articles out there talking about how, you know, he spoils her, they're in love, he sends her flowers all the time, they go on special trips, these different things, which is great. I see nothing wrong with that. That's great. If he can spoil her and send her nice, expensive gifts and they can travel all across the world, they are in a different class. Most people don't have money to be going around traveling all the time. So that is what I am saying. Women in particular, we set ourselves up for failure. We set ourselves up for disappointment if we consciously or even subconsciously look at celebrities or look at people as the standard on how we should live our life. And to me, that is, I continue to see that over and over again. And yeah, of course, media, I think, does definitely play a role in it. They do, you know what I mean? But also media is looking at what's getting views. So it's like, you know, what's coming first? Is media responding to the audience, or is the audience responding to media? You know what I mean? Like what comes first? So if you're on here, please get those likes up. Tag anybody on here you think may find it interesting. Also, feel free to show some support. You can find me on CASHAPP or VENMO, CHezCharde. Also appreciate all super chats. Yeah, everyone enough. But yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm saying, Obi. Like, I don't want to say much on this topic other than the fact that we are so focused on what doesn't matter that this is why I think our bigger issues just simply don't get fixed. Because when you're distracted by silly things like what celebrity is wearing today or who they're sleeping with, and you're actually not living your own life or dealing with your own life. Here's the difference, right? So for example, like when I had the interview yesterday with those two ladies, right, who I told you that they collectively have lost 400 pounds. One of them have gotten to be up to 500 pounds. One of them, you know, in the interview, she was expressing why she got to be so big. And she said that there were certain traumas that she'd experienced, certain abuse, certain things that drove her to want to stuff, you know, to not want to deal with her stuff, to not want to deal with her own issues. So instead of her dealing with the issues, she ate. That was her drug of choice, was food. And I think while maybe for everybody it's not food, I think there's some of us out there, women out there, where it's like, we so need that fantasy. We so desire that fantasy, or we're so driven to it that it's like it almost can become like an obsession, or at the very least, it can become a main focus. And that can be the thing that actually starts to like inform how we should live. It should be the things that we use as our standard. This is what I should aspire to. This is how my life should be. This is my husband or my boyfriend needs to treat me like this, or else it's not going to be valid. I need to have this, or it's not valid. He needs to be doing this for me, and it's not valid. And it's like, again, that is dangerous, because they are in a different class, and celebrities are not necessarily leaders. They're just not leaders. And I just wonder, with the amount of toxic and just baseless and meaningless content or ideas that go out there every single day, and just the amount of, I think, meaningless ideas that us women hear. I mean, even when I hear, I just hear these silly conversations about, like, oh well, she's brown skin or she's light skin, so it shouldn't really matter. Or, well, she's a preference, so should we be surprised? Or just like, then we start seeing weird division among women. It's just like, oh well, because she's not as dark as me, then I don't need to take her seriously anyways. Or like, I'm just like, these are like, are we in kindergarten? Like, are we in kindergarten? What are we doing? Are we now recognizing like how juvenile this stuff is? So I don't want to go on a rant. I see you say, if media controls your nation, then you are subjects of the world. Right. Right. I think, I think, to your point, a lot of this stuff is just, media. Media is always pushing a message. It is always pushing a message. It is what it is. And if you use media, if that is the source that you use, your primary source of information, your primary source of what is right or what is wrong, then you're not in a good place. Let me just tell you that, because media is all about making money and promoting messages, not necessarily about displaying the truth for what it is. So you got to start there. But more specifically, I just think that these situations are showing me that I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even mad that some of these dudes are over here like SYSPM. I'm not even mad at it. Like, I see some of the stuff going on around here, and I'm not saying that guys are perfect, because there's certainly guys out there that got their own issues. But I'm like, man, if this is the kind of culture that is growing, or if this is the kind of culture that is being like celebrated among the community, among women, it's like, yeah, that's why it's SPN. I'm not even mad at it. Go somewhere where you're gonna find a woman that is mentally, spiritually in a place to where she can even engage in having a relationship. Because some of the stuff over here to me is just like, oh my gosh, this is so elementary. What are we even doing? What are we even talking about? So so people are just upset because he's Black, man. Had he been a non-Black, that will be applauding. The misandry among the Black community has been out of hand. Bingo. Talked about that in the post. There's a large group of people who at the end of the day, they're just butthurt because he's Black. If it was a white dude, nobody would have any smoke. Nobody would have any smoke. Nobody would be looking the skeletons in his closet. Nobody out there would be like, oh, well, he's had this remark back in 1980, whatever. Like, they wouldn't care. They would not even look a week back at what he said. If it was a white dude or a non-Black dude, applaud. So like I said, that is absolutely it. There are people out there who are upset because Rihanna, when she decided to settle down and make a baby, she did it with a Black man. And I'm like, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you choose your non-Black billionaire, which granted, he came from a billionaire family, but why didn't you end up with that one Arabian dude or whatever? So you got people who are there with it. And to your point, yeah, that just shows there is definitely some Black male misandry. These kind of situations show it over and over and over and over again, where some people just see non-Black as a level up, period. It just is what it don't matter if he's broke. It don't matter if he's abusive. It don't matter if he's had colorist remarks, every other sentence. His skin color is a level up. So that does exist. You said, look at the excuses when a white guy leaves his Black. No one here. Don't even get me started, y'all. Yeah, no one would care. This wouldn't be a conversation. I actually wouldn't be on live with him now if he was a white guy, because we see people praising. He can do no wrong, and that's what I'm saying. It's like it's crazy. It's interesting to me how a lot of these women came out here, females, right, came out here And this wasn't everyone, because I saw people who were just like, yeah, she's happy, they're applauding. And I also saw females out there who were just like, this is bad. He was a colorist. That remark about, I guess he made a remark about black women shouldn't be wearing red lipstick. This is horrible. This proves a black man are the most colorist, yada, yada, yada. But again, like I said, we take into account the situation with Serena, right? Where she married a man who his business was implicated for having a lot of neo-Nazi and a lot of like white supremacist activity on it. No smoke about that. Nothing. I don't hear nobody talking about, oh my gosh, I can't believe that she is marrying a guy that could be considered racist because something that he is partially owned has promoted, or certainly has racist propaganda on there. No smoke, nothing about that, nothing. And see, and that's where I'm saying, it's like, look, if we go, anybody's with, you can go and find some skeletons in your closet. Nobody has a perfect past. So this is not me about trying to throw anybody under the bus. What I am saying is we oftentimes see that, yeah, there are inconsistent standards. And that's what I'm saying. This whole thing of just like, oh no, it's because it's because she married somebody that didn't make as much money as her. That's BS. Because like I said, if this was the exact same situation, but dude was white, nobody would be saying anything. So there is a big aspect, I think, in the negativity that is fueled by the fact that she's with a black man, and that's sad. But more importantly, the bigger issue is this: why do we care? Let her, like I said, she's a grown woman, she's a grown man. They can live their own lives. I think. I'm like, man, why can't we make things go viral that actually impact women? The things that actually are affecting them, like their health, like I talked about, the fact that many of us are overweight and unhealthy, and we're at risk for things. Why is that not? Because that's a lot more important, that's a lot more relevant, and that's a lot more. That's going to impact you so much more than whoever Rihanna decides to sleep with. You know what I mean? Like that, to me, that is a bigger concern. Or talking about, the economy and the fact that whether or not we want to buy into this whole BS level up culture, a lot of women right now just are not leveling up because the economy is the way it is. There's debt. People finding it harder to own homes. Even people with college educations moving back in with their parents, trying to save money. This is real life. Why aren't we talking about it? Or even if you want to talk about relationships, why not talk about how to be self-accountable? We could spend all day talking about dusties. And yes, there are dusty men out there. Yes, there are men out there who have no understanding of how to treat women. So I'm not going to pretend like that doesn't exist. It absolutely does. Also, by the way, there are crazy women out there. And many of us also don't know how to actively engage in a relationship. So why not talk about things that impact us? Why not talk about the things that actually deal with our life? Why not talk about the depression that you may have, or the anxiety, or the fact that you go online and you see how superstars live, if you look at your life and you feel depressed, right? Or you go on Instagram for 5 minutes and then you get off Instagram and you feel worse off than you did before. Because now you're comparing your life to a false narrative. This is what women go through. This is what women actually go through, right? Issues with the baby daddy. Or upset because they can't find a man that they love. In and out of relationships, in and out of somebody's bed. Mad, tired, angry, can't sleep. This is what women go through. But instead are over here complaining about what some grown woman wanted to do in her free time. Who cares? But yeah, that's just me. That is just my, my 2 cents on it. So again, y'all, if you were here, please get those likes up. If you like the show, you find this interesting, please share it. Or you can always feel free to show support to the show. You can find me on CASHAPP or VENMO. CHARDE, I appreciate all the love and support. But like I said, I just wanted to talk about this real quick because sadly, it was one of my most popular posts in the community tab. And again, that shows me where the focus is and why there's so many issues that are just not being addressed. Because we're focusing on things that don't even really matter. And, as many of you guys have said in the panel, yeah, some of the stuff is media, you know what I mean? It's algorithm. There's different things that are playing into this. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like everybody is just, focusing on things that don't matter. But there is a culture of celebrity worship, no doubt. And I wish more of us would check it. I must more of someone to be honest and be like, we focus way too much on celebrities. We focus way too much on people who we will never meet, who we will never rub elbows with, who we will never ever look in the eye, who will never understand our situation, who will never have our problems. We focus way too much on people that don't even know who we are than we do in our own life. I think if we could start there, if we could admit that, then we might actually start with a productive conversation. Seriously. Shout out to CLA Trey, aka Mr. Research, for the 2 on the super chat. Thank you for being even and balanced. Appreciation. Absolutely. You know, I'll say this: I don't pretend to be perfect. I do not, and I don't pretend to know everything. I can be challenged. I don't have all of the right answers all the time. Obviously, I'm a human being. But I just see, like I said, I see a lot of BS going on around the time, or just a lot of things that just don't really mean anything or have any value or impact women's life. And I'm just like, you know, as much time as I spend on here, or any time that I spend on here, I want to try to be as productive as possible. I'm not going to always get it right. I'm not going to always 100% hit the nail on the head, but at least I want to try to be at least contributing to society versus just taking away from it or just adding to the noise. There's so much noise out there. It's just noise a lot of the times. So, I see. So why a lot of women don't like her, because she's mixed race. When mad at her, she can love and choose who she want to give birth to. Yeah, okay. This whole mixed race thing. Where do we come off pretending that like mixed race men and women are different than Black folks? I'm sorry, because you can argue with me. I know now, especially with among females. You know, we're now separating, there's light skin and there's brown skin, and there's dark skin, and then there's a Black woman, and then there's the preferences, and there's the beef between, well, she's not fully Black because she's half this, she's quarter that. Like, and I'm like, okay, here's the thing. Black folks, we didn't really create race, right? Like, if you look at just history, American history, we weren't the ones who were sitting around deciding whether or not we were Black. White folks were. So I don't see why people going around being like, oh, well, that's a dark skin Black. Oh, that's a brown Black. Oh, that's a light skin Black person. Oh, that's a mixed race. They're not doing that. You're Black. I'm sorry. If you want, you can argue against this whole one drop rule. If you really want to know if you're Black or not, ask a white person. If you really want to know, if you are really curious, oh, would I be considered another race? Would I not? Ask a white person. Like I said, my friend came on last week. She's half Mexican and half white, or I think her dad's like German or something. And she told me, you would look at her and be like, that's a white girl. She told me, she's like, I was not considered white. She has like, look like a white girl. Like I said, she got some brown hair, brown curly hair, brown eyes, really, really light, she looks like a white girl. And I'm talking to her and she's like, I'm not considered white. I'm too dark by white people standards. And then she moved to Arkansas and it got even worse. She's like, she was telling me, yeah, I went to Arkansas. Oh, y'all, I got to turn on these notifications over here. She's like, yeah, I went to Arkansas, this little place in Arkansas, and I got dark curly hair and a few tattoos, and everybody there is blonde hair, blue eyes, and they was looking at me like I was crazy. And then she invited me over. She tried to invite me to go visit her, and I'm like, girl, I'm sorry. I'm like, girl, I'm sorry. My grandmama escaped from Arkansas for a reason. But but no, anyways, but I'm saying, but anyway, so like I said, this is like a girl that by all intents and purposes, you would look at her and be like, that's a white girl. She's like, I'm not even white enough by white people's standards. So if we really want to get into these silly brown skin, light skin, dark skin, mixed race preference, if you really want to know where you stand, ask a white person. Because I had a friend, again, who by all intents and purposes, you look at her, she's a white girl. Maybe she could pass for like a time, but she's a white girl. She is telling me, as a white person from white America with white parents, that she is not considered white enough by certain white people. So I'm just like, my point is these silly arguments to make about, oh, well, I can't get along with her, or she can't identify with me because she's 2 shades lighter than me and she got 3A hair and I got 4C hair. I'm like, y'all, this is stupid. This is like, you are riding the short bus if you believe this stuff. Because who talks like that? And like I said, more importantly, if you just look at history, Black people, we didn't control, we didn't create the race thing. We're not historically responsible on how to classify that. So because we didn't classify it, because we didn't organize it, because we didn't create this system that we're in right now in America at the very least, we're not the ones who really change the parameters of that. We can kind of go around and beef all we want and try to separate all we want based upon skin tone or all these different silly things that we do as women, hair texture, featureism. But I'm like, if you really want to know how you stand, ask a white person. Ask a cop. Okay? But those are just my thoughts, y'all. Those are just my thoughts. And now I see that she could have had her baby with any man. Well, and yeah, even if we go back to the whole Rihanna situation, it's like, y'all, like, I mean, you think about it. They had done music together. They had a history together. I mean, they're from like the same, their families are from the same area, like same culturally. Like, I mean, it seems like it makes sense. So like I said, I'm happy for them. Now, I don't really care. I'm not going to lose sleep at night because of their of what they decided to do. And I think that needs to be the bigger picture. It's like, ladies, like we can't live vicariously through celebrities. We just can't. And some of the stuff we begin focused on is so stupid. And also, by the way, please don't go over here and get caught up in this dumb propaganda about the fact that you're not Black or she's not Black enough because she's a shade or two lighter. Yeah, we can look at historically and know that, okay, so light-skinned people had maybe certain access to certain things, yada, 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 yada. But at the end of the day, they weren't considered a white person. They sure weren't. And like I said, at the end of the day, if you get stopped by a racist police officer, I don't think he's going to look at you and be like, oh, well, you know what? You're a light-skinned Black person, so I'm going to let you go. No, you're Black. The one-drop rule applies. So can we please stop the stupidity? That's just my 2 cents, y'all. So anyways, thank you for being here. If you're here, get those likes up, tag anybody, share it, send support. If you want to show support, you can find me on CASHAPP or VENMO, CHezCharde. And like I said, I'm on here a little later than normal because I was having a lot of technical issues today. I had all this work I was trying to get done, and then my computer was just acting up. So please bear with me. But yeah, well, that's my 2 cents. I don't want to spend too much time on this because, like I said, this is just celebrity stuff, and sadly, it's a lot of views, but it is what it is. Let Rihanna live her life. Let, A$AP Rocky live their life. I'm happy for them. I'm glad for them. But please just don't let them be the standard of how you should live yours, because they're just human beings. They're not perfect. Celebrities are not perfect. We should probably stop the celebrity worship and actually start to find ways to enjoy our own life. And if we can't enjoy our own life, then it's safe to assume that we need to figure out why. Some of the stuff to me, I think, just could start to become a distraction from what's really happening internally, what's happening spiritually. And that, to me, is a problem. But like I said, those are my thoughts. So anyways, yeah, see, and like I said, that's another thing. I personally, I'm not hashtag no judgment towards her and her husband. I think they're engaged. I mean, there's different reports out there saying that they're engaged. Some say that they got secretly married. Again, all this chit chatter about their relationship. Who cares? They're grown adults, they can do what they want. Now, I personally would never recommend that. I don't care if you were a millionaire. Like, I would not recommend having a baby with a man that's not your husband. I just, for my own moral reasons, religious reasons, I just think that is not good. And I don't think that is anything that should be, encouraged. But, here we are. That's what they decided to do. And like I said, yeah, I hope it works out for them. But I wouldn't tell any young girl that's what you need to do. No, you should probably not do that. Marry before you carry, for multiple reasons. And she happens to be, like I said, she and him happen to be in a situation that, God forbid, it doesn't work out, because if they're not married, they can break up tomorrow, and there's less skin in the game. Literally, like from a legal standpoint, there's less skin in the game. So God forbid that happens. She's a billionaire. She's going to be okay. She can hire a nanny. She could find the kids will be okay. you know what I mean? Like most women, that's not gonna be a situation. You get knocked up from a boyfriend, you're in love, but he never got down on his knee and proposed. Y'all never set a date. You didn't walk down the aisle. He just says he loves you, but still ain't giving you a ring. Then you get pregnant, you have a baby, then he gets upset, you get upset, y'all break up. Like this happens over and over again. Now you're upset because now you gotta deal with child support. Because again, if you get pregnant by your boyfriend that you're in love, but y'all fall out of love, you don't have marriage, you don't have a legal contract, nothing. You can leave, and there's literally no skin in the game. There's nothing. It's just like bye, peace. And like I said, there's so many different there's so many different struggle situations, I think, that are just that. And here, I'm not saying that I don't necessarily believe that every woman should just get married per se, because there's a lot of women, I think, today who are not marriage material. So if you don't want to get married, and if you see marriage is oppressive, please don't. Please do not get married. Please don't try to get married to anybody. If you don't want to get married, you see marriage is oppressive, whatever, don't, because that would be a horrible decision for you and for that man. Okay. But I'm just saying in general, like as far as wanting to have a baby and wanting to have a family, you need to have a father there. You want to have a family. And like I said, like just marriage, if we're just looking, if I look at marriage just strictly from a spiritual standpoint, and just like I said, committing to somebody, being like, look, I'm with you for the rest of my life. We are now like setting our roots down. Okay. And now we have committed to each other. We have a contract that shows we have committed to each other. God forbid this contract ends, we both lose something. Like I said, there's a lot more to that. And I think anytime we're thinking about having a baby, like that is a big deal. That is a big deal. So I don't personally believe that we should be so cautious about being married, but then be so nonchalant about having kids. Both are pretty important. So yes, to the earlier point, I know one a little bit of a rant. I will never celebrate, or at least never elevate as a standard a woman having a baby outside of marriage, outside of a commitment to another man, a commitment to that father that says, we are now dedicated to raising this kid together for the rest of their life. Because whether or not you guys commit or not, you are bound to that man for the rest of your life. Even if you don't want to be, you're bound on whether or not he is active. You're bound on whether or not he is not active. But you indirectly are bound to that person the rest of your life. So it's like, why not be bound to somebody that you've already committed to? You've already committed your life to, But like I said, I don't want to get, because that can be a whole nother little rant, y'all. So I said y'all love European beauty standards. Actually, I actually did. If you haven't checked out my Black beauty standard video, please check it out. I kind of break into that. He said he would want to preach from Brother Sleepy. Yeah, okay. I'm hungry, y'all. I'm getting hungry. And like I said, I was on here a little late because there were so many technical issues going on earlier today. Like there's all the stuff I wanted to do, and it was just a struggle all across the board. But it's fine. We're here. I'm here. Thank you for being here, hanging out with me. Again, please show support to the show. You can find me on CASHAPP or VENMO, CHARDE. Also super chats, all of that. And I appreciate you guys for being here. Please stay tuned. I have some more stuff coming up. Members only. I have some more stuff coming up for Black Men Built That. Also, I don't know that I've done the update for everybody yet. I told the members, but just really quick. I know I had been talking about doing like a series for the Black Men Built That. The goal was to try to get at least 300 members. Unfortunately, we were not able to meet that goal. So what I'm going to be doing is releasing some exclusive content for members only. So for those of you who did sign up and were interested in trying to get that going, if you will, or to get more content dedicated to that, I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. So expect a video to drop within the next month, focusing on the Black Men Built That. That will be dropping in the members community tab only. I do still plan to do different content, different like posts, different maybe interviews and things dedicated to that to everyone. So don't think I'm not going to cover it off. But as far as like some of the different pre-recorded content and some of the different videos, that is going to be releasing right now for members only, since I was not able to get the amount of support that I wanted. So yes, that is update there. Also stay tuned. I have some more lives coming up this week, some more topics coming up this week. And you guys have been awesome. So anyways, thank you for being here. And I'm trying to think if I got everything else. I think I got everything. So I'm hungry. I need to go eat. And it's dinner time. So we'll talk later. Bye.